So what a lot of people refer to as Gothic is actually should be more correctly described as ecclesiastical revival. Now, have you heard of Pugin? He was very fussy about, he hated anything of the classical revival, so he couldn't see why people were having pagan symbols on their coffins and their church furniture, everything. So not only did he design his churches and all the fabrics and the fittings and the candlesticks and the doorknobs and everything, he revitalised that form of brass founding single-handedly. He even designed headstones to complement his churches. He mailed 12 of them to Tasmania. The Pugin Society, I'm a member of the Australian branch. We've got very vital area research in this. This is more reviving good, solid design. So you've got the Gothic revival, reviving all things Gothic. However, this is more ecclesiastical church, High Church of England taste. Unfortunately, no one else's coffin furniture catalogues have survived. This is why Newman Brothers is so special, because it's the only place that's got an excellent set of catalogues with the actual materials for comparison. Newman Brothers is vital, particularly in the archaeological community, because if you do find a coffin with registered designed furniture, if it lines up being an exact match with Newman Brothers, that's great, because then you know when that burial could not have taken before. So that can tell you who that person isn't that you are exhuming. If you got something that is not an exact match but very similar, because you can see from your various catalogues, you go through Art Nouveau and Art Deco, and then the increasing simplification when you get into the 60s and 70s and the introduction of cremation coffin furniture. Even if you've recovered similar objects, you can actually say, well, Newman Brothers had something very similar in this year. So that can still give us a date range of when that burial might have occurred. Because coffin furniture, like absolutely everything, went in and out of fashion. So the registered designs are absolutely vital. And of course here they are in context, and it tells them that you have a matching plate and matching handles, and you can have your choice of handles that fitted the various plates. But the trouble is with the unregistered or the common designs, which is particularly that everybody had these designs dating as they were in catalogues as early as 1783, and they were still in production in the 1920s, so they're absolutely useless for archaeological dating. That is flower pot, and they was usually sold with an angel and a flower pot, and the angel sat at the head and the flower pot at the feet, and this is a child's size, because the adult size ones are larger. The design is certainly Victorian. Design was used from the 1783 on all the way through the Victorian period. We have it in archaeological contexts in Australia, definitely prior to 1875, and also prior to 1924 on another site. But when you look at the various flowers, of course the language of flowers is very important during the Georgian and the Victorian periods as well. And you've got peonies and poppies symbolise sleep, and you've got sunflowers. So coffins were covered in, the majority in Australia were covered in cloth right through to, say, the end of World War I were the majority. However, prestigious burials started to appear from the 1880s in Australia with fine polished cedar or finest English oak. So this is... this could well be registered. See, okay, here it is, 1060, there we are. It's definitely Victorian. This, I'm surprised it's still hanging around in the catalogue this late. This sort of design was really popular in the 1890s. I've got a couple of photos of coffins with stuff very similar to this fitted on, which are dated and known burials. Maybe they literally started, because the registered designs I've found for Newman Brothers so far have all been brass. Maybe they didn't start the tin pressing process until later.